I'm excited that I remembered that. How did everybody enjoy fall break? Did anybody do anything fun before we jump into this? Nothing fun? Oh boy. Okay. Well, I went to Las Vegas. That was interesting. Um I guess you would say fun. But yeah, all right. Well, on Tuesday we went to the pumpkin patch. That was pretty fun. Did you get a good pumpkin, Ashley? Cool.
I have it over here if you want me to show it.
Yeah, go get your pumpkin. Show it right quick while a couple more people are showing up. Hi, Tyler. Oh, wow. She got a white pumpkin. That's cool. I actually bought a white pumpkin and I think I'll turn it into a ghost. TJ Barella actually gave me that idea, so that'll be cool. I'll just cut two little holes out and that'll be his eyes and that's it.
I drew a face on mine. His name's Cartman.
Oh, as in South Park Cartman? Oh boy. Okay. Well, we won't talk much about South Park, but anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. I am just going to review kind of what we are here to do, which is obviously talk about Number of the Stars. I know it's been a while now since it was before fall break, but we've already read chapters 5 through 8, and we have been connecting our enduring understanding to our reading strategies. And so far this year, we've kind of covered two reading strategies, and we're about to learn a new one soon. But the two that we've covered are making connections and predictions. So, while you were reading chapters 5 through 8, did anybody make any connections? And that could be a connection to one of the characters, a connection to another book, or maybe a connection to another movie, or something that's going on in the world. Anything? Not even to one of the characters?
My job's connector if you want me to share some of those connections.
Actually, we'll save that for when we go into our job sharing. But just remember, guys, that when you're reading, and I know it's been a couple weeks now, but when you're reading, just try to think of things that you are connecting to. Maybe you're connecting to something that you saw in the news. Um, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of a loose connection, but here's a text to world connection. Oh, wow, that kind of came out fast. Text to world. So Ellen was fearing for her life. And that was because she was, Jewish and Jewish people were being persecuted. Something going on in the world right now. Well, there's a lot of people over in other countries that fear for their lives every day because they have very different lives than we do here in America, and they're always kind of arguing and fighting about religion, um, among other topics. Religion's a big one, though, that people still to this day fight and kill each other over. It's really kind of sad. Any predictions that you guys made while you were reading? Maybe you made a prediction about what's going to happen in the rest of the book, or maybe you made a prediction about maybe one of the characters and what will happen to them. Or maybe you could just think of a prediction right now. Go ahead, Ashley. Ashley's starting us off today.
Um, I made this prediction first, but then I kind of changed it because I knew it wasn't possible. So I predicted that they would color her hair blonde so that they'd fit in more. But then I realized it was old time, so I knew that wasn't possible.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, my wheel was spinning there for a second. So she predicted that the family might color Ellen's hair blonde so that she would look like the rest of the sisters in that family, and that she would fit in a little bit better and maybe be a little bit safer. I don't know. I don't think they had, the boxes of hair color like we do today, but I think they had things like peroxide and whatnot back then that they might have been able to do it with. But I'm not even sure that they had enough time to really think that through. before they had to basically go into hiding. So, any other predictions? Okay, well, we'll go on for now. Just remember that some of our goals for book clubs are to communicate with each other, not just the teacher, sitting here telling you things. It's for you guys to actually talk and share your thoughts. A lot of the questions that I ask don't have a right or wrong answer. A lot of them are opinion questions, or questions that, are kind of loose and open ended that maybe haven't even come up yet in the book. So don't be afraid to share your thoughts and questions. We are collaborating with each other. The more that we talk to each other, the more we're going to learn about this book and learn about the themes in this book. Critical thinking. When I ask you some of these tough questions, questions that are not yes or no answers, that's what you're doing. You're thinking critically about the book. You're going deeper. And then creativity. A lot of your jobs can be very creative. I'm going to give you some examples today of different ways to do some of these jobs. You don't always have to type it up on a Word document. You can make a movie. You can make a short little, just clip of recording your voice. You don't necessarily always, you can make a movie slideshow of just pictures. You don't always have to just type something up. So that's being creative, going a step farther with the jobs that you're assigned in this book. Okay? But let's skip on down to the jobs that we had. And I kind of want to skip ahead to the summarizer job because that's kind of a good place to start, is with a summary, just to refresh our memory about chapters 5 through 8. So Kaylee, I'm going to make you the presenter. And in just a second, it's going to say share my screen, and you're going to click yes, or you're going to click share my screen.
Um, Actually, I have it on a notebook.
Oh, you have it on a notebook. Okay, well,
computer.
oh, it's not on. Okay, well then, don't worry about it. You can just hold it up to the camera and you can just tell us verbally.
Okay. Um, I'm just gonna read it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Ellen is now living with Anna Mary. With Anna Mary. Um, one sec.
That's good. We can hear
Okay.
you. Ellen is now living with
Ellen is
Anne-Marie.
now living with Anna Mary at her house because she's a Jew, and the soldiers are taking Jewish families. Anna Mary, Christy, Ellen, and their mom are staying at their Uncle Henrik's house because it is safer than Anna Mary's house. While they were staying at their Uncle Henrik's house one morning, they got to have oatmeal and cream, which is very special because at Anna Mary's house for breakfast, they only get bread for breakfast. Later that afternoon, Anna Mary found out her great aunt Bertie she didn't even know about had died and was going to stay in a coffin in their living room.
Very good. Okay, so definitely. Why was it that they had to go to Uncle Hendrik's house? Why was that safer? I heard you say it was safer.
Because they know where that Ellen lives in the Johansson's apartment. Well, the thingy where they live,
Yeah.
and so it would be safer to live at their Uncle Henrik's house because the German soldiers there don't know about Ellen being Jewish.
That's right. And, the German soldiers were really thick in the city of Copenhagen. They were hoping that in the country, it was a little bit easier to hide. And then, of course, obviously, sneak across, the water and get to Sweden. So that was definitely why they went there. Now, why was it a special treat to have oatmeal and cream?
Because normally for breakfast every morning they have bread.
Yeah. Ever since the soldiers moved into Copenhagen, the people don't get anything nice. Basically, they take all of that stuff. So things like cream and butter and sugar and coffee, things that people enjoy, the soldiers have taken for themselves. So there's not enough for the regular citizens. So when they were able to go to the country and have a treat, it was a big deal. Definitely. Okay. So very good job, Kaylee. I just wanted to tell you guys too. Um, Another way that she could have done this. I mean, she did it in a great manner. She, wrote her summary and shared it with us. But maybe she could have just made a bunch of pictures by using photo booths, or really just putting it into a PowerPoint production, or any of those type of options. And then she could have just told us a quick note about each of the pictures, and that would have served as a summary as well. So there's lots of different ways to do these jobs, guys, and you have the freedom to do that, to be creative. Okay. So sorry, I lost your pictures because my cat just sat on the computer. Anyway, we will move back up to Tyler, who was our discussion director. And Tyler, I am going to make you the presenter so that we can see your screen and you can share your discussion questions with us. Are you ready, Tyler?
Okay. So my first question was
Oh, did you write it down or did you type
where
it?
did Ellen's parents stay? I wrote it down on a piece of paper.
Oh, okay. So then he doesn't really even need to share a screen. That's fine. Yeah. So where did Ellen's parents stay? Anybody have an idea, or did it even tell us where Ellen's parents went? Anybody want to guess where they were hiding? Go ahead, Ashley.
Maybe they went to Peter's house because their mom said that they were with Peter.
Yeah, that's right. It seems like Peter kind of knew how to hide people, and where those people were staying, and so he was the one that was helping the Jews kind of be smuggled to where they needed to go. Um, so why did they have to? I'm going to take this question one step farther. Why did they have to separate Ellen from her parents? Go ahead, Ashley.
They had to separate them because Ellen, no, the Anne Marie's family couldn't take all three of them because it would be very suspicious. But if they
That's
took
right.
just one, it wouldn't be as suspicious.
That's right. I mean, they could not hide three extra people in a small little apartment like they had. Um, they were barely able to hide Ellen, and they might not have even been able to do that if their older sister hadn't passed away. If the older sister hadn't passed away, I don't know where Ellen would have gone. She might have had to just stay with her parents, somewhere more dangerous, right? That's good. Okay, Tyler, do you have another question to share with us?
My second question was why was the handkerchief so important?
Oh, have you gotten to that part yet in the book? Some people might have. Jack, have you gotten to that part yet? Go ahead.
Yes, I have. The handkerchief was so important because it made the dogs not smell well, so they couldn't smell the Jewish people.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So those handkerchiefs, what the scientists in Sweden discovered is that if they put, and I hate to even bring it up, but if they put the drug cocaine on the handkerchief, it would make the dogs' noses kind of go numb in a sense, and so that they wouldn't be able to sniff out people who were hiding in the boats. Because unfortunately, a lot of people got caught that way when they were hiding in the boats. So, um, yeah, the fact that the handkerchief was dropped was terrible because there were German dogs, remember? And so Anne Marie did something very brave. What was it that she did? Do you guys remember, or have you gotten there yet? What did she do with the handkerchief? Go ahead, Tyler.
She still went to the docks and gave it to her Uncle Henrik.
That's right. She faced the German soldiers and she pretended that her uncle had forgotten his lunch, because the mom couldn't go back because the mom like twisted her ankle and and Anne Marie could probably run faster anyway. So she had to run that basket down there and be very brave, and make sure that that handkerchief got on the boat. Because if it didn't, those dogs would have sniffed the people out. And Ellen was one of those people. Very good. Okay, Tyler, any other questions?
That's the only ones that I came up with.
That's good, though. Those were great questions. See how we went further with them? That was great. All right. And Simon hasn't joined us yet because he's coming to say goodbye. Um, let's see. Nicholas showed up to the earlier session. Hopefully he'll remember that he's at 9:45. But we can go to Ashley. And Ashley, did you make your connections on your computer or did you do it on paper?
I did both.
Okay, so I will turn yours into the presenter, your screen, so that we can see your work. So a button that says show my screen will come up. There you go.
Is it showing?
It's showing, so you can scroll to the top and tell us your first connection.
And my first connection is I have an uncle who owns a farm in Kansas City. He used to have cows, pigs, and sheep and chickens, but now that he is older, he can't handle all the animals. He has at least 20 barn cats, but my dad told me not to pet them because they carry ticks and they could bite you. My uncle is a fisherman just like Anne Marie's uncle. Last time I went down to his farm, I fished in his lake that is full of catfish.
Very cool. So she has a personal connection. She has an uncle that reminds her of Uncle Hendrik in the book. Very good.
And my second connection is last year I went on a field trip to this place where there was a barn, and this lady was in the barn milking a cow when we got there, and she taught us all how to milk the cow. She even let some of the kids milk the cow themselves.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I would do that, but did you do it? Did you milk the cow?
No.
No, yeah. I'm more of a city girl myself. But obviously, that's how they were able to have fresh cream. Tyler.
I actually went on the same field trip, and by the time that we got to the same station, the cow was all mad, and it had to be locked up in the barn. It was funny. It, it was like
Oh my goodness.
it was
Well,
going crazy.
I'm sure it was. I mean, after so many students have, come and tried to milk it, I think I'd be a little upset too. So I don't blame it. That's funny, Tyler. Thanks for sharing. Any other connections, Ashley? Okay. I am going to share Jacob's doc. So Jacob, go ahead and put it on your screen and I'll do the talking for you because he's really sick today. So I will make Jacob the presenter so I can see his work. And then I'll do the talking. So Jacob, on your screen, push show my screen. Oh. All right. So I'll share his connections. I made a connection with the book in chapter 8 when Anne Marie and Ellen usually ate tea and toast, but this time they got to have oatmeal and butter. So he made the connection that he used to eat oatmeal every day for a whole school year, but now I don't really like it anymore, and he got sick of it. That's good. So he made a connection to the food. I guess I ate oatmeal this morning too, so there's my connection. Connection number 2. Anne Marie said, I wonder how it's going to be fishing all night. And his connection was, I went fishing and it seemed like We were fishing all night, and yet we still didn't get one fish. Yeah, when you go fishing, you have to be really patient. That's why I really don't care for fishing much. Um, but the people in this book, they relied upon it for food. So that was kind of a different time in history when people actually caught more of the food that they ate instead of going to stores as much. And he had the vocab word exasperation. He thought it meant angry or sad, but it means to irritate, provoke, or enrage. So if somebody is exasperated, it means that they have been provoked or they are irritated. Very good. Um, Jacob, do you remember who was exasperated in the story? You could type it into the chat. Or maybe somebody else remembers who was, yeah, it was Anne Marie. She was feeling exasperated with those German soldiers when they were interrogating her and giving her a hard time and taking the bread and the cheese and basically making fun of her and holding her up from getting that basket to Uncle Hendrik. Good. Okay, so now that was very good. We have our connectors done. We don't have Caitlin with us today, but we have Jack. He was the word wizard. Jack, are you there? Cool. Jack, can we share your screen? So Jack can be the word wizard, and you'll see something that says share my screen, and go ahead and click it.
Well, I wrote mine down.
Oh my goodness. This is kind of funny. All of you wrote yours down on paper. In the last group, everybody did them on the computer. So, all right, Jack, go ahead and share the words that you picked and why you picked them. Jack, do you want to share your first word with us?
Sorry, I keep on losing the screen.
Oh, that's okay. Well, we can still hear you. So if you just want to talk while your screen is kind of coming back, we can hear you. Hmm. Seems to be a little bit of a delay. I'm not hearing Jack anymore. Can anybody hear Jack?
Oh, I got it.
There we go. All right, here we go.
I picked a blossom because it was kind of a creative and joyful word.
Very good. When was that word used?
Hang on, let me find it.
Yeah, so when you're the word wizard, it's really kind of cool to make sure that maybe you have a sticky note in your book and it's, ready to go, or you just write down what was going on when you found that word so that the rest of us can remember.
It was when they found a cat and they went to Uncle Henrik's house.
Yeah. Okay, good. What was your next word?
I found brave, and I picked that one because it was interesting because I didn't think they were going to be too brave in this story.
Yeah. But did it surprise you that they actually had to be very brave?
It didn't really surprise me, but it did surprise me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, give me an example, and this can be for anybody, an example of a time that Anne Marie was very brave.
Um, well, I have one. Emery was very brave when the soldiers came inside the house,
Mm-hmm.
and they had to stand outside and answer the questions to the soldiers.
Yes. How scary would it have been if the soldiers busted into the house and you have this coffin that's actually full of clothes and warm blankets, and the soldiers are interrogating everybody and wondering why it's a closed casket and why it's not open. Um, that would be very scary. So to actually not break down and give it away and to lie, I guess, to the soldiers basically, and keep a straight face and everything, that would be a really tough thing to do. And remember, I mean, these are little girls. Anne Marie is only about, what, 10, 11 years old? And her sister's even younger than that. I think there's another time that they were very brave. What about the time that they were on the train and the soldiers walked up to them when they were on the train going to Uncle Hendrik's house? Do you remember that part? Anybody? How were the girls brave then?
They were brave then because they were talking and they didn't cower down and didn't talk. They stood up for themselves.
That's right. That's right. And the whole time that they were worried that the littlest sister would accidentally give it away that Ellen was actually Jewish, right? They were worried. So they had to be very brave and keep a straight face and be very serious the whole time. Very good. Did you have any other words?
Yes.
Okay.
I had another word, German, and I thought that was an important word because all the soldiers were German, not anything else. So, and yeah,
Yeah, well, it's an important part of the story. It's important to know where it was taking place and what these soldiers, basically, which side they were on in the war, and that was the German side or the Nazi side. Um, yeah, very good. So that was important to know, basically, their culture. Any other words?
yeah. I have Sanouge, and I picked that word because it was new and kind of different. And Sanouge was used when they were talking about it when um,
Oh, I think you mean synagogue. Is it the S
synagogues. Yeah.
N? Yeah, synagogue.
Yes. My bad. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, do you remember what a synagogue is?
Yes, I do. It's kind of like a
Mhm.
church building.
That's right. It's the place where Jewish people go to worship. That's right. Very good, Jack. Any other words for us?
I have one more word. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
You could give it a try or you can spell it.
right. So how you spell it is Dubiously.
Dubiously?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the definition, and the definition is kind of like doubting what the person said in a doubtful way.
Oh, okay. So do you remember when they were doubting what the person said?
Yes, I I can't seem where to find.
Well, that's okay, Jack. You still did a great job with the word wizard job. Um, and just remember, guys, there's all kinds of different ways that you can present this other than, writing it in your notebook, which writing it in your notebook is fine. Don't get me wrong, but you can always, make a slideshow of pictures. You can record a short little movie. You can record a video clip. There's all kinds of different ways that you can do these jobs. I know most of you have probably done a Wordle, right? When you were doing your e-portfolios. So maybe next time, if somebody is the word wizard, somebody can make a Wordle of the words. And then, you could just write down the page numbers so that you're able to flip back to those as well. But lots of different creative ways to do these jobs. And if we have time at the end, maybe we'll brainstorm a couple different options for us. But we'll go on. We had some essential questions, and some people, Simon and Ashley, already answered them, and that's totally fine because this is a discussion and there's no really right or wrong answer. It's about collaborating. And so really, typing onto the same document is just fine. So we have Simon's answers, and then down here in bold print, we have Ashley's answers. But we're going to see if we can add anything to what they've already given us. So question number 1 was, what makes German soldiers suspicious of Ellen's identity? And Ashley, you can just start us off. You could just tell us what you wrote for the first question just to get our minds going.
Me?
Oh yeah, you're the only Ashley.
I wrote it all down in a notebook too.
Very good. So you could either see it on my screen or from your notebook. It doesn't matter.
Okay. The German soldiers are suspicious of Ellen's identity because her dark brown hair gave her away.
That's right. It seems like a lot of people who are of German heritage have blonde hair. They're kind of light skinned, they have blonde hair. A lot of times they have blue eyes. And so, a really quick way that people used to think people were Jewish was if they had brown hair. Because it seems like a lot of people with Jewish heritage are darker complexioned because originally they came from different places in the world where people had more dark skin and darker hair, and darker eyes, usually brown eyes. So that was one way. It's not a surefire way. It's not like a German person can't have brown hair. They certainly can. It's just, it seems like a lot more people had blonde hair. And I'll take this a step further. Hitler actually said that the Aryan race was superior to everyone else. The Aryan race means people with blonde hair and blue eyes. That's why that was just a really quick way to label people. So Hitler said that people with blonde hair and blue eyes were better than everyone else. And if they were Jewish, of course, they were shipped away to concentration camps. And just to take this question even deeper, why did Hitler say that these Jewish people, or people with brown hair and brown eyes, should be shipped away and taken out of the country? Or really taken off the face of the planet. Why did he think that Jewish people, or people that were not Aryan, should be eliminated? And you could raise your hand. It'll probably go easier or go quicker than the chat. Do you remember the discussion we had a couple weeks ago when we talked about how Germany was suffering after World War One? World War One happened in like I think it was like 17, 18, something like that. And so ever since World War One, Germany was kind of a poor country. They were suffering to get back on their feet. A lot of people were unemployed. Um, it was one of those things where people wanted a better life. And so Hitler came around in the 1920s and he said, um, well, and he basically he kind of lied to people, but he said, well, if we get rid of all the Jewish people, then our lives will be better. And they're going to be better because the Jewish people are taking all of our money and they're taking all of our jobs and that kind of thing. So he basically brainwashed people into believing that if they got rid of Jewish people, that they would for once be able to have jobs and live good lives and have a lot of money. Um, so I mean, it was one of those things where when people are desperate and they're hungry and they want a job, they're more likely to believe things like that. So that's kind of why people with dark hair were discriminated against. And yes, sorry, I know that these are actually, I'll scroll down, Ashley, so I can get to your responses since Simon's not with us right now. But let's go to question number 2. What does Papa do to answer the German soldiers' questions about Ellen? So they come into the house and they're like, well, who's this little girl with brown hair? So what does Papa do to basically save Ellen?
You want me to read
Jack?
it?
Go ahead, Jack. Anybody else can, definitely jump in and give their answers as well. So go ahead, Jack.
Well, Papa showed the German soldiers a picture of the baby pictures. I forgot Lise when Lise was a baby,
Hmm.
and Lise had brown hair when she was a baby. So
That's right. They ripped a picture out of the sister Lise, who unfortunately is dead now. But they ripped out her baby picture, and they ripped it out because it had her name written underneath it, and that wouldn't have worked. So they ripped it out and they said, "See, look, even as a baby, she had brown hair, and here she is in our family photo album. So she's definitely my daughter," which was good enough for the German soldiers, but obviously wasn't true. Um, Tyler, I don't know if this was earlier, but I see that you have another question. Did we get to all of your questions?
I had one and I didn't write it down and now I forgot it,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'll probably have it later.
That's fine. We'll finish these questions and then if you have it, we'll talk about it. Okay. What does the code word cigarettes mean? And this was a pretty easy answer. Go ahead, Ashley.
Code word cigarettes is a Jewish person, which in this case is Ellen.
That's right. So they were talking to Uncle Hendrik on the phone, and they had to be very careful of what they said. So instead of calling people, saying, we're going to take Jewish people to your house, they said, we have a lot of cigarettes that we are going to take to your house. And that was believable. But we all know that cigarettes actually was a code word for Jewish people, and it meant get ready, Uncle Hendrik, because you're going to be taking some people across the water to Sweden in your boat soon. Okay. All right. So that was an easy question. Number 4. What is Anne Marie afraid Kirsty will do on the train to Uncle Hendrik's house? And why was it dangerous? Kaylee.
She might give away Ellen's identity
And how would she give it away?
by saying, today is Ellen's New Year.
That's right. The Jewish people have a different holiday to celebrate their New Year. And so, yeah, they did actually say something about New Year's, and they said that the German soldier said, "You wouldn't be celebrating New Year's, would you?" And Mama piped up and said, "No, New Year's is months away from now." But they were afraid that the little girl who didn't understand might actually say, well, no, it's Ellen's New Year, and then they would give it away. And that would have been very dangerous. Okay, number 5. How do the German soldiers treat people? And why do they feel they can act that way? Let's let Tyler answer this one.
The Germans they took advantage of whoever they could, but they only did it to people that they knew that they could take advantage of, because like they couldn't take advantage of us at that time, so they picked on someone that wasn't as a strong country as us.
That's right. That's right. So they took advantage of, in this case, it was the people in Copenhagen, right? But they took advantage of just everyday citizens who couldn't fight back. Everyday citizens knew that if they fought back, they would be killed. They knew that if they stood up to the German soldiers and, basically didn't give the German soldiers everything that they demanded, that they would be treated just like the Jewish people were. So it didn't matter if you were a German citizen or not. The German soldiers were really mean to everyone. They had a heightened sense of importance. And Hitler was one of the people who made them feel more important than they really were. He kind of brainwashed them as well, telling them that they were dominant because they were part of the Aryan race, and that they could do anything they wanted as long as it was what Hitler was telling them to do. So describe how Anne Marie was brave. Oh, and what she did to help her Jewish friends. And actually, we have already kind of discussed this question because it was one that Tyler came up with. Or no, I'm sorry, it was Jack when he came up with the word brave. And this was different actually. Looks like Ashley said that Anne Marie was brave by helping make up a story that Ellen was her sister. There was other instances when Anne Marie was brave though. When she took the basket to Uncle Hendrik that had the handkerchief in it, she was brave then. She was brave when the soldiers came into the house and they had the coffin full of coats, basically, and she had to act a certain way. So Anne Marie was really brave in this entire story throughout. All right. So we'll go on down to our vocabulary. Couple people might have already written their vocab words on here. Star of David. Simon shared that one with us. The Star of David was a sign that someone was Jewish. In that time, Jews had to wear the star, so they made you wear it. And it was humiliating and cruel. Okay? And tentatively, to do something without confidence or to hesitate. So if you do something tentatively, you're not confident in your decision. You just have to do it. And then the rest of the words, let's see. Nicholas is not with us. Caitlin's not here. Tyler, did you get the word specter?
I actually went over the book again just to look for it, and I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe do a quick Google search on it right quick and see what it is. And then once you Google search it, I bet I can kind of figure out where we found it in the book, like what was going on in the book. Pose, Jack. Did you find that word? Talk into your microphone, Jack. It's on, but we can't hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I didn't find it in the book, but I did find the definition. And the definition is to set forth or offer for attention or consideration that may pose a question. That's an example.
Yeah, an example would be to pose a question. In this case, I believe the book, it said pose a threat. So being Jewish would pose a threat to anybody's safety. Good. And we already talked about Jacob's word. And hazy, did you find that word, Kaylee? And I can see that you can't hear, so hopefully you can hear us. Oh, she's offline right now. Kaylee, if you can, you could type the definition into the chat and then I'll share it for you. Skipping back up to Tyler. Did you do a Google search, Tyler?
I'm halfway writing down the definition and I have to go look it up again because it had two meanings. The first one was something that haunts the mind.
Ooh, that actually probably can apply to our book. Just the memories of everything that they had to go through those years that the Germans were occupying Copenhagen could definitely fit that definition. Very good. All right, guys. Oops, I forgot to change the date here. Let's talk about what you're going to be doing next. You are going to be reading chapters 9 through 12. So you're going to be reading chapters 9 through 12. We have somebody in the background. Hi, Jack. I bet that's Will. Hi, Will. No, not Will. Okay. You're going to have a new job. I don't remember if I typed any vocab words. I don't think I typed new vocab words. So I don't think we're going to have that for an assignment, which is kind of good. It's a little less for you to do. And then I do want you to try to make a connection and a prediction while you read this next time around, okay? Yes, Tyler.
This assignment, I thought it was 9 through 16 chapters.
It's actually 9 through 12, so it's fine. If you're ahead, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We do not have any book clubs. Well, we don't have any virtual classrooms next week. And the reason is it's because and hopefully your parents have checked their email. If they haven't, tell your parents to check their email because we have conferences. So here's what conferences are going to look like because it's a little different being in the online school. Your parents have an option of having an email conference where I email all of your data to them. So that's one option. Or they can choose a 15-minute block of time next week, and you and your parents will get on the virtual classroom. We'll get on here, GoToMeeting, and we will share your progress with them that way. So you will walk your parents through your assignments and your grades. And of course, I'll be here to help. And then I will also share my progress report of you as well. So those are the two options that your parents have for conferences next week. And that's why we don't have any virtual classrooms. It's because we have conferences instead. So you actually have a lot of time to do your job and to read these next chapters. So going back to your literature group jobs, let's remember that the next time you do a job, you don't have to just write it down. You can make something creative if you want. Something like any of these programs that you have. I mean, you have Photo Booth available to you. I'm sure you have iPhoto. You have GarageBand. You can make an iMovie. Lots of different options to present your literature group job. Okay, any questions? Okay, make sure you tell your parents to check their email so that they can sign up for a conference time or sign up for the email option for conferences. That's fine too. And we'll go from there. But you guys did great today. Thanks for coming and give me a wave goodbye. Bye. You did great. See you later.